Well, I think that the role of health and health literacy for the economy is increasingly important. When you look at the figures about the number of days lost at work through illness, increasingly that's issues around stress, it's mental health, but also sort of chronic diseases. It's obvious that we need to manage this as an issue and be much more proactive than we have been in the past. Well, in terms of what the European Parliament can do to promote the topic, one is obviously to look at what we do within our own establishment so that we're taking it seriously ourselves. But I think also in terms of the policy development that we have, whether that's sort of soft policy, a lot of the things that we foster, for example, through corporate social responsibility, or the line that we take on issues around demographics, managing an older workforce. There are certainly policy initiatives, and I think it may be something as well that at times even in the legislative field we ought to be aware of just what it is we're asking. Well, I think that the way in which the public and private sector work together is going to be very important, because obviously there's an interplay between the two. I think one of the things that we need to do is to look at how you help people to respond positively to health messages, and not to feel that somehow there's an issue about fault, an issue about judgment. I think one of the things that can be done very constructively in this sort of partnership is messages about why it's good for the individual to actually be more proactive in managing their health, not just what does this mean for your company's bottom line. People have to feel it works for them as individuals too. Well, I think some of the major challenges in terms of promoting health and well-being at work are, one, how important is it actually for the company itself? Do they really see this as an issue in terms of maintaining a workforce, keeping the skills that they need, actually reducing absenteeism and so on within the workplace? Secondly, I think there's a managerial challenge, that if you're looking at certain of the problems there, managers really have to have a better understanding about how they are going to work in this way. And engagement of the workforce itself is also really crucially important. I think all of the evidence shows when you're trying to make changes within your company, you have to take the workforce with you. They have to be involved and not simply feel that this is yet another management requirement on them, which certainly when it begins to extend into what they perceive as their private lives really matters. So there are all of those sorts of issues, which I think in many ways are more of a challenge than anything to do with cost or changing the way in which you work.